Michigan's rock station. Q106.
What's up? It is Q106's Carrie Stevens, joined by the one and only Jason Douglas, getting ready for Capital City Comic Con. Jason, how dare you make me cry so many times while going through your work, man. So I read No Man's Land and Jane American this morning while I was getting my stuff ready for work, and I was not prepared for the emotional heft of this, man. You monster, you brilliant monster. Those are fantastic reads.
Harry, I sincerely apologize, and I also then retract my apology because you had it coming. You dared to read it. Of course, it's going to hit you in emotional core, and that's good. That's the best compliment I can get from you. Thank you.
Let me tell you, man. So my father served during World War II, and your stories draw some inspiration from your own family. What is it about this particular era of time that speaks to you as a writer?
Well, Terry, I've been a public school teacher for 26 years, and long before I stepped into the classroom as an educator, I was a born and bred history nerd. And just as much fiction I read growing up was just as much nonfiction. And I think the very first book I read was the Golden Book History of the Civil War, for crying out loud.
Oh, wow.
and so history is like in my blood. I'm a eighth grade English teacher currently, but I bring a lot of history to the classroom, and to have family members who actually then lived through it. And like in the case of Jane American specifically, that was an era in history and in the local history of Michigan that I got to talk to my grandparents about, specifically their experiences before they passed away. And my grandfather was actually my research wingman on Jane American in the first stages of that book before he passed on at age 99.
Oh, wow, man. Yeah, Jane American, I love how the person who saved the day at the end wasn't quite who you were expecting. I don't want to spoil any of this. You need to read this man's books. They are a ride, but her story, man, that Jane American, that hit a lot of notes. And I'm like, this guy, I knew you were from Michigan. You are definitely steeped in the history of it, considering where the gathering of antagonists came from. Those antagonist descendants are still up to some nonsense in that area, and I'm not trying to. I know there's people in that community that are trying to affect positive change, but some of the bastards are still there as well. But yeah, man, I mean, you didn't pull any punches on that. You really you laid it all out there as far as some of the more challenging aspects of Michigan's history.
Sure. I mean, what I've discovered about myself, I think, as a writer, now 3 graphic novels into this relatively new experience for me as a published and now award-winning writer of comics. A dream that I had since I was 12, but waited until my 40s to finally pull the trigger on, which is heroic and pathetic in equal measure. The thing that I've really discovered, Terry, is kind of funny, is like when I've been writing. The 2 major things that have become clear to me, because 3 is a pattern, right? Number 1, if I'm going to ask you to suspend your disbelief about something, right? Well, even well-researched historical fiction. My first book, Parallel, I ask you to believe that there's other versions of you from different universes reaching out and offering you chances at dreams that you thought you left behind forever. If there's a scene with medical professionals or a psychologist or a cop, those are going to be well researched. I'm going to reach out to those people, and you're not going to be taken out of it the way that, like, as a teacher, I won't watch a teacher television show. My cousin the doctor won't watch Grey's Anatomy, because as soon as they say the wrong thing, you're out. If I'm going to ask you to suspend your disbelief in Jane American about a 15-year-old who can do things that other kids can't, you're not going to see a vehicle from 1956 in a scene in 1946. The icebox in the kitchen of their 1943 home is going to be from 1932, because they can't even afford the 1940 model, right? And then Gosh, in No Man's Land, if I'm going to ask you to suspend your disbelief that there's a werewolf out there haunting the trenches and the
Yes.
desolate land in between, you're not going to see a World War II helmet on a World War I soldier. Research and historical accuracy is really, really important to me, not only as a reader, but also as an educator, because I think that you can learn. If you can trust your nonfiction or your historical fiction author, I think you can learn just as much and internalize just as much from historical fiction if it's done right. And the other thing that I've discovered is that my fandom and my deep desire to tell a story that can connect with any audience is going to be at the forefront of everything that I write. So every single one of my books is wrapped in one of those comic book trope things that we all love as fans, right?
Hmm.
Deep dark sci-fi for my first book, superhero tropes for my second book, and obviously slasher werewolf insanity for my third book. But you know what? That first one's really about the existential dread about time passing and dreams deferred and the stress that we get as time passes us by. And the second one is about identity and self-worth and you being you in a world that tells you something different. That's Jane American. And the werewolf book, believe it or not, is about the horrors of war. It's about
Hmm.
childhood trauma, its lasting effects, friendship, and betrayal. So there's going to be something in there for you, whether it's the comic book trappings that draw a lot of us in, or it's the deeper meanings that connect us all in this life that we go through.
With your students, what do you see them keying into as far as the fiction that's informing them? Have we lost this entire generation to TikTok? Is it 6, 7 all the way down?
I'm here to tell you, and most people listening to this are going to know. 6, 7 is officially in the grave. The eighth graders that I teach for the last 13 years, fourth graders for 13 before that. Once it reaches the adults in the teenagers' lives,
Hmm.
the teenagers know it's over. So that thing's on the way out. Don't worry about that. It's not going to haunt us much longer. Honestly, I'm gonna answer the question in the most unsatisfying way possible. The answer is yes, and the answer is no. Right? The screenager thing is real. It is depressing as anything you have ever experienced in your life, right? For me as a parent, for me as an educator, just walking through the world. And yet, the answer is also no, because if you get them, the young readers, with the right thing, the thing that connects to them. I mean, fourth market period, which we just wrapped up. School just ended a little bit ago. We read The Outsiders, the book for teenagers about teenagers, written by a teenager. Susie Hinton was 15 when she wrote the first draft of that. Didn't get published to 17. Kids still connect with it. It's still the thing that breaks through. My eighth graders say that I've got a cheat code because I have not matured past 14 or 15, and thus I can still write to them and write for them, and they think it's not fair, but I do not sound like the middle-aged white guy that I am when I write their age characters. And as long as it's something that connects them, as long as you're not pandering, as long as you're not faking it, as long as it's sincere, and it comes from your heart as a creator and connects to their heart as a reader, it still works, it still lands, and it can still make a difference.
I see a wall of tomes behind you. So this had something had to have sparked this for you. What was the first graphic novel you? I mean, we've all read graphic novels growing up. I read like Rom Space Knight, but it didn't connect with me emotionally so much. It was like, hey, cool robot guy, right? So, what was the first graphic novel that sparked something that made you go, oh, damn, I'm a different guy now that I've read this?
It's so funny that you asked that because like I am this I'm a man of no mediation, of no middle ground. I'm a man of extremes. It's either all or nothing, right?
Mhm.
There are no greatest hits CDs or albums in my collection. If I like you, I want everything you've ever made. And I have this dichotomous split in everything, right? I'm half collector, half reader. You see a lot of the books behind you in this shot. All of my long boxes for the stuff that I'm chasing as a collector are downstairs in the dungeon.
Mhm.
Even as a kid, I mean, my two favorite movies at 12 were The Empire Strikes Back and inexplicably for a 12-year-old, All the President's Men.
Hmm.
And as a comic reader, as a graphic novel reader, when I was young, I had my Spider-Man, X-Men, and Wolverine stories that I just chased for the pure adrenaline rush. And at the same time, as like a young teenager, again, inexplicably, my favorite run of comics was Sandman Mystery Theater,
Ooh.
which is just a 1930s noir mystery series about a dude who runs around in a gas mask and like solves crimes in like the dark noirish time of the 1930s and the 1940s. That was something that really hit me young, even as I was like cheering on the adventures of Wolverine, the X-Men, and Spider-Man and Batman. Like to find out that comics could tell a different type of story, the most malleable medium, in my opinion, really kind of turned me on as a kid and then followed me into adulthood.
Very cool, man. It's shame that old Neil ended up being the way he be, but
I mean that's the thing. So
That's
Sandman
rough.
was the other one. I wasn't even going to mention it because that Sandman Mystery Theater actually comes out of that because that's the Golden Age Sandman. That's not actually associated with him at all.
Oh, thank
But yeah,
goodness.
I mean that's another thing where I've got as a mass consumer of media, we are all navigating this world now where you have to decide where you are on the art and the artist. And that's one of those great tragedies that as somebody who I admired greatly for a long time, and now not so much.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
Yeah.
I've got a list of stuff like, well, once this person shuffles off this mortal coil and they can never get paid by me hitting play again, I'll check them out again. But for right now, you on timeout, brother.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Right. So what subjects do you teach in your day gig?
So for the first 13 years, I taught third grade and fourth grade, and that was all subjects, right? That was
Mhm.
like all four cores and everything else that came with it. And then the last 13 years, I've been in middle school, and the vast majority of that has been ELA, so English Language Arts, mostly with the eighth
Okay.
graders. I
So
bring a lot of history into the class, but that's your reading, that's your writing, that's your listening and speaking and stuff like that. Yeah.
doing some research to make sure you're
Oh yeah,
coming correct
100%.
when you're
We I,
right.
I teach in the research essay all the boring and thrilling stuff that you remember. It's still there
All
here in
the APA, baby.
2026. You better, man. You better believe it.
What do you tell your kids? What do you think is one of the most vital lessons you tell your kids when it comes to, look, if you want to create something, if you want to craft this thing, make sure it does blank.
Well, I mean, honestly, like when I do panels at conventions that I'm a guest at and stuff, and I do this panel of this solo panel called Comics in the Classroom, because when I brought comics into my elementary school classroom now more than 20 years ago, um, it's the closest to magic I've ever seen in the classroom where my reluctant readers and my below grade level readers kind of just came alive and it made a difference.
Hmm.
And at the end of that, I always get a bunch of questions from like young creators about like how do you make a comic? How do you create your thing? And I give them the same answer and I preface it with this, Terry. I'm like, look, this is going to sound trite. It's going to sound flippant. Hear me through. It's not. Because the answer is like, how do you make your creative thing? How do you make your comic? How do you write your book? How do you start your podcast? How do you become the thing? And the answer is you just do it and you make it and you finish it. And now if I stop right there, they're walking out of that panel going, that dude's a jerk. I never want to talk to him again. I'm certainly not buying his books. But the reality is, it is kind of that simple. If you make something, you just have to do it because the hardest thing is getting started. And then the second hardest thing is finishing it. And once you finish something, it has what I call infinite potential, right? It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It can now live in the world and it has potential to be the stepping stone for the next thing, to be edited and revised and made better. It could be a brilliant thing in and of itself. And you're further than 99% of people who have a dream and never pursue it. And now it exists and it can't be taken away from you. Now, what I can't promise you as a creative person, the young people that are in my classroom every day, the person like me who waits till middle age to pursue the dream, what I can't promise you is what happens next, right? It could be something, it could be nothing. But what I will promise everybody, and I'll promise you today, Terry, is this. If you don't do it, I promise you, nothing will happen. 100% guaranteed.
Right.
No exceptions to that rule. So make your thing, finish it, and then you take the next step.
Hell yeah, I love that. That's straight up motivating. It's funny when I'm training new people on how to do what I do, right? I'm like, guys, it's as simple as this: be yourself, don't say dumb shit. And it's as simple as that, but as complicated as that because it's really easy to say dumb stuff. Yeah.
Like I went to a very reputable university right down the road from you to become a teacher. Okay,
Go
back in the
Spartans, go green, go
1990s. Yeah,
white.
yeah. Go green, go white. I have a human child that is there right now. I'm sending another one in the fall, and I got my undergrad there. I got my master's there, and I became a teacher there. And yet, I learned 99% of who I am and what I do in the classroom by learning on the job, by actually doing it, right? And it's the real advice. Make your thing, do your thing, learn as you go. There's no experience like real life experience.
Yeah, no doubt about that. What are your so have you been to Capital City Comic Con before?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
a repeat offender, okay. What's your
100% repeat offender. Yes.
love it. So you spent a lot of time in East Lansing, and that's fine. We won't hold it against them. We'll annex them eventually.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite thing about visiting the capital area, man?
Oh my God. Well, okay. As a physical media, some would say degenerate collector. I would say a curator of good stuff. I mean, Flat Black and Circular is my home away from home, my
Yeah,
friend.
baby, you know what's up. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Great
There
record
might just
store.
be there might just be a little pin on my lanyard when you come and visit me at Capital City Comic Con.
Bet. All right, all right. Well, we look forward to supporting your hoarding habit.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
what's your favorite thing about the con circuit? What do you love doing there the most?
Okay. So Capital City Comic Con is actually a really good example of this. Whether you're a repeat offender, as you say, or it's your first time there, personally, social media is going to be the death of us all. And
It was such a mistake. Why do we keep doing it?
1,000 likes on your post, 1,000 likes on your post is not worth half of what a connection to one-on-one at a convention means to me. I have been one of the most pleasant surprises of this ride the last 6 years, getting comics published, winning the best graphic novel of the year at the Ringo Awards a few months ago for Jane American. Jane American getting published by Simon & Schuster and Papercuts and like literally being in every bookstore across the country in schools September 1st this fall. One of the most amazing pieces of this journey is learning how one-to-one the transfer of my former theater experience and my middle school, especially classroom skills, transfer to being behind the table as a guest at a con. The idea of interacting with people one-on-one and giving them the best experience they can and having that personal connection. It's not about a sale. It's about a human connection. And then, hey, I've got a story for you. I want you to check it out. Here's why. I enjoy that so much. And I'll tell you, this is a little inside baseball, but so if you're doing a good job in a middle school classroom and you're teaching the same class every day, if you're doing a good job as a convention guest, the trick is this. My first hour, when I tell them some dumb joke to make nouns more palatable, seventh hour should think that they're hearing it for the very first time. And yet, same thing. Like if I'm giving you a pitch about Jane or about No Man's Land at Capital City Comic Con, whether you're my first person of the day or my last person of the day, it should sound fresh to you. Now that's performative, right? That's the acting skill. But here's the thing about eighth graders, and here's the thing about discerning comic book buyers: they can smell insincerity from a mile away and will eat you alive. The eighth graders will destroy your life, and the comic fan will walk away from your table in an instant if what you're delivering, even on repeat, isn't 100% sincere. And I don't know if this makes me different from other people. I don't know. But I've got this different life experience where this is new to me. This is the childhood dream. But I've been teaching for almost 3 decades, man. And the reality is, this is my passion. Right? My day, I make like $50 a year as a public school teacher. I'll be fine whether I sell you a comic or not. So when I talk to you, it comes from the passion that's in my heart for this thing that I love and this thing that I love to now create and this thing that I hope you will love too.
That human connection's very there in your work. Again, I was not prepared to have tears welling up in my eyes. I read them back to back as well, man. No Man's Land and Jane American. I was not prepared for how I was going to be moved by these books.
I
And
appreciate that.
yeah, again, brilliant work, man. Absolutely brilliant work. With Jane American is preparing to be in every damn school before
Right,
terribly
right.
long. It's only a matter of time until Netflix or somebody comes calling, man. Who plays the lead role? Who you casting, bro?
Well, from your lips to Netflix ears, Terry, okay? I
Let's
don't know.
go.
Man, hard know anybody. I don't know. I have zero connections. I don't know how that works, but wow, yeah, that's a great question. Um, I mean, she's playing. Okay, look, I grew up in the era of 90210 was on TV. So, like, my gut says, well, she's 15, right, for the bulk of the story. So, apparently, you got to cast a 29-year-old, right?
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
like,
Yes.
it's kind of wide and right there. I mean, she's actually older than that now, but I mean, who would absolutely crush it would be Saoirse Ronan. I mean, she would be amazing. She's got the look. She's obviously got the talent. It's probably even a stretch for Hollywood now to cast her as a 15-year-old. And my kids are now all medium to late stage teenagers, and so my walking past the TV and seeing who's the young star on Disney, those days are behind me. So I don't
Mhm.
have a perfect answer for that, other than Saoirse would be amazing.
Bet. I could see it. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And again, phenomenal stories. Again, fam, you need to check out Jason Douglas's work. But go meet him at Capital City Comic Con. It's July 10th through 12th at the Lansing Center. I got one more question for you, Jason.
Sure.
Now, obviously, you're gonna hit up Flat Black and Circular. You'll get all of the vinyl. Okay, but what is the biggest danger to your wallet at these cons?
Dude, okay, so I love this question. I've been thinking about this so much over the last year. Okay, so I have been kind of on my own as a creator. I started my first book was published by Source Point Press, and then I did Jane on my own, and now it's with Simon and Schuster and Paper Cuts, but I've been on my own, being invited to shows for like the last 3 years, and it's like this double-edged sword, Terry, where as a collector, as a degenerate collector, I'll just admit it. Okay,
Hoarder is another word you could use.
sure, sure. Actually, the great Judge John Hodgman once said that the difference between a hoard and a collection is display, and I still display it properly. I don't think I'm at the hoarding stage yet. It's coming, but not there yet. Now,
Ugh.
listen, the double-edged sword is simple. The more and the bigger cons I get invited to, the more direct access I have to the thing that I want, which is those comic dealers, whether it's digging through the dollar bins for the little thing that I want, whether it's finding the stack of trades for a good deal, whether it's literally destroying every dollar that I've earned ever in my life because something's up on the wall. And I've got more direct access. Now, the double-edged sword is, at the same time, the bigger these books become and the more people are coming back to see me, the less time I actually have to go out there. And it's like this terrible tease where I can see it. It's like just over the horizon. Oh, look. Oh, look. Oh, look, I'm so close to completing my run of Uncanny X-Men, and there's that one up on the wall that I needed, and I
Mhm.
can't get over there. So it's kind of like bliss and torture at the exact same time.
You know how Meyer has like special shopping hours for the elderly? They need like special shopping hours in the vendor hall for all the content creators.
I need every comic vendor to be there 5 hours early and just waiting for me to, because I'll be 5 hours early, and if you give me that 5 hours to shop, I will shop for that 5 hours. And it never works out that way. They like, I don't know, they like sleep, they like to go and eat and stuff like that. They just won't wait around for me, Terry. I don't know
How
what's going
dare
on.
they? How
I
dare
know.
they? I'm telling you, we'll see what we can do about getting you some concierge deal going on there, man.
Okay.
Jason, thank you so much for the time today, and thank you for these incredible books. Again, fam, you got to read this man's work. It is phenomenal, and the guy's teaching our kids here in Michigan, so throw him a bone, okay? You know, teachers are not getting paid anywhere near enough, so let's make this man's bank account go up a little bit so he can get optioned by Netflix or something. There you
That's
go.
right.
There you go. Jason, we look forward to seeing you and everybody else. Capital City Comic Con, July 10th through 12th at the Lansing Center. Enjoy the rest of your day, brother. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
So much. I appreciate it.
Michigan's Rock Station. Q106.